Alright, today we're going to be making a candy cane. So this is following on with our Christmas themed videos. Hopefully this one will be nice and quick, little easy project to try at home. And I want to try something quite special with this, is to do a twist, which you can't tell is a twist, in a way. So I'm going to try and cut some lines on a bar, twist it, but get it to remain a round bar, but you can still see the lines going around. I think it'll be really fun to try and do this, so let's have a go. So to make this candy cane, I'm going to be using some 10mm round bar, and my plan is to do sort of like an invisible twist. So if you look at a candy cane, or the one that I've got here, you can see that it is round. You know, it's a round rod with then this patterning, a twisted patterning going along it. So to get that effect, the idea in my head is to put 4 sides onto this, so hammer 4 planes on, and then cut some deep lines into each of the planes, then put the bar back to a circular rod, twist it, grind off any corners or evidence of the twist other than those lines that we've cut in, so it then comes down maybe to 9 or 8mm round, and then put the shape in to the candy cane, and hopefully it's going to look like this rather than just a twisted bar with those sharp corners and deep valleys. We can have it all round rod, hopefully, or at least that's the idea in my head. Let's see how it plays out. So we can put our 4 sides onto the piece. So instead of doing 4 cuts, my lovely cameraman pointed out to me that the candy cane is actually more likely to be 2 cuts, as if you look at the end you can see 2 sorts of threads. So we'll do 2 cuts on 2 opposite sides. Make sure the chisel cools down so don't ruin the temper on it. So we have 2 nice and deep lines cut in to opposite sides. The next step is making sure that this goes back to octagon and then roll it to get it as perfect or as close to round as possible before we twist it. So if we cut the corners off, just give it a quick wire brush to get some of that excess scale off, and then knock down the corners of the octagon so we get that nice cylindrical rod forming, round rod. Okay, I think I'll just put a bit of a square on the end so we can get a wrench on there or spanner to twist that, and hopefully this is going to twist pretty well. I think it's a little bit oval, but we'll twist it and then we can grind off any valleys or points that form, which is why we've done a nice deep cut, so that if, as we are grinding, we don't grind these lines out. Just needs to be a little bit tighter down here. So I'll I'll take a new heat and also at the top. Just quenched off the top so we can get it twisting where we want it. So you can see the twist has closed up those lines that we cut on. So to open those back out, what I'm going to do is heat the whole bar up and untwist it, so put an anti-clockwise twist on whilst pushing down on the piece, and hopefully that's going to open those cuts out and give us a little bit more of a gap, so that when we come to grinding all of these little valleys and points down and get it looking like a round bar, the only evidence of the twist are those cuts. Okay. And really forcing it down to open those lines. I hope you can see the lines have opened up a bit. But obviously we still have sort of that texturing in between the lines from the twist, as the round bar wasn't quite perfectly round. So to get rid of that, what I'm going to do is take a grinder to it and just grind it into a round bar rather than forging it into a round bar. If we now just wildly hammer at it, what we're going to do is just fold all of these cracks over, so you won't even be able to tell that the lines that we cut in are there. Let's get this in the vise and then the grinder on it and get all of these sides down so it's a nice round bar. That's worked rather well, I think. You can see that it just looks like a round bar, and yet there's a twist in there. All that we've got left to do is I've cut the end off, so now we've just got to put a little bit more shape in it so it resembles a candy cane rather than just a rod with a bit of a twist in. I'm just going to go for a really basic shape on this candy cane. Nothing too fancy. The fanciness is in the twist. Obviously I'm being careful not to dint the round bar too much. So we've got to cut it off, and then I'm going to wire brush it up so it's nice and shiny, nice and polished. I've got this wire wheel attachment in the angle grinder which we can use to make this nice and shiny. There we go, thank you for watching the video. I'm really pleased with how this candy cane has turned out and how that twist has worked, because it looks really cool. You know, it's sort of almost a just 10mm round bar again, but it's got this twist in, and you look at it and you think, yeah, that's pretty cool. How have you done that? And I really like that when you can look at something and you've got to think about it in your head of how you've actually done it, how you've made it. Anyway, thank you for watching the video. I'll see you on the next one.